Often, where people find that more they work, more they get tired. My case was different. By the evening came, I became fresh like a flower. Only because of this integrating spiritual life into my worldly activities, you see.
Daji, before you became a spiritual guide, you were also very prosperous in your material life. How did you manage to balance the material and the spiritual together?
The idea in our heartfulness way of meditation that we need to balance spiritual and material life. Balancing does not mean spending time equally. And also balancing does not mean that when you make $100,000, how much spiritual wealth are you going to balance it with? You can never balance both that way because you cannot quantify spiritual wealth. Years of my struggle in trying to understand this very fundamental thing, that how to balance and fly like a bird with two wings, equally supportive. I see it's a futile exercise. And when we try to percolate this, allow this meditative state to percolate in our day-to-day activities, that is the beginning of integration of spiritual life and material life. And while integration, what I mean is you are not differentiating. Whatsoever you do, it's spiritual dancing. Often where people find that more they work, more they get tired. My case was different. By the evening came, I became fresh like a flower. Only because of this integrating spiritual life into my worldly activities, you see. And when you go home, it's like, you visited a park or you went for some joyride and coming back home. So this effect of work, the impressions that we gather during the working hours became almost negligible. So as soon as you enter home and you go into your basement, wash your face and take a shower if needed, and do the cleaning. Cleaning was just 10-15 minutes affair for me. See, it was very intense at the same time. The impressions that we gather by such a lifestyle, I think they are so minimal. At the same time, they don't trouble you as much. Does that mean that you don't fight during your business hours? You don't argue with your... Because we have problems. I mean, when a patient comes, oh, my insurance does not pay for this. How am I going to get cured? And they start fighting with you. Sometimes they start cursing you. They label you all kinds of stuff. But when you listen to them carefully, patiently, and explain to them with the centering in your heart and say, okay, Master, help me convince this patient. Make her feel comfortable. You see, most of the patients, I got them where ladies are always argumentative. Why not this? Why I want this medicine only? You cannot change my medicine. And we had to explain to them very softly, gently. And this exercise made me stronger from inside. Often it's not that you don't lose your temper. Sometimes I did. But then it was easier for me to retract. I could easily retract back and change my tone. And that helped.
Heartfulness advises one to follow one's heart. But sometimes one is not aware whether a suggestion is coming from the heart or the mind. How can one differentiate between suggestions given by the mind and those given by the heart?
First of all, I am not willing to accept that you don't know that it is your heart that is speaking. Because every one of us, even my little granddaughter, she's 2 years plus, knows when she does the wrong thing. She has drawn a lot of, on this studio room inside, besides my apartment, a lot of things with her blue crayons and violet crayons on the wall, see. And one day she tried to do the same thing on my bed. And when she saw me, she quietly walked out with her head down. When I looked at her, she just put her head down and walked out. So I am not willing, rather it is unbelievable that you don't know when you when you are even intending to do something and your heart doesn't know it. I would not say right or wrong, but heart always knows that this is not proper. Whenever something is going wrong, heart always signals, always, without fail. Sometimes your heartbeats go up and you are doing rightful thing. Heart doesn't give a signal. Because to do a rightful thing is very natural to us. When it is so natural, it just happens and there is no warning.